Back down with the racehorses. 4 through 10 years old is our racehorse crew. Atlas Hanover scratched last night. This really sucks because it's going to cost us another week with this guy. He's coming in off a win in 52. We wanted to wait a week, get him looked at by the vet, train him up really good, and get him into race, and now he's scratched. So not very happy about that, but cannot control Mother Nature, as you know. So we're going to have to play the hand we're dealt with this guy. Atlas Hanover coming in short his next start, I'm sure. Greatest ending. Now, I told everybody last night, when we bought this horse, we knew he tied up and we knew he had foot problems. Mark said he's very sore left front foot today. I can almost assure you, 2 things happened last night. First one is he tied up. I'm almost certain of that. Second one, he's got a dirty foot abscess coming, and this is not the first time for either of those. And we get them both, I think, at the same time. Now, we'll do our due diligence and make sure the horse will x-ray him and whatnot, but this is not the first time this has happened. I've got the history of this guy from a number of trainers, and this is by far not the first time this has happened. Lots of times he's come up sore on his feet. He's got real abscess issues in both of them, so we have to try and find some shoeing that we can mitigate that with. And then secondly, and every bit as importantly, the tying up. And I think it's timely. I think it's important that we recognize if he did, which I'm sure he did, tie up last night and then have a foot issue. The stress from the foot issue, for the foot bothering him, I believe triggers the tying up. So the feet are the most important thing for this guy. So we'll see in the coming days what happens. Either way, he is sore on his foot. We do have to get that abscess out. And then also, I'm almost certain he tied up. And if that's the case, what's the number? How do we get it back down to as close to 0 as we can? It's going to take at least a week or 2 to get this guy cleaned up and back underway. But that is the job, especially when it comes to greatest ending. We know how talented this horse is, and we're going to have hiccups like this along the way with him. How we manage it, how we mitigate it is most important. So that will be the next conversation to have moving forward. HL Blue, I know Mark loved him. I'm going to make some changes to this horse. His shoeing up front. I know Mark liked him a lot. He's a nice horse. I like that he does his work, but he does need to work a little bit harder than I saw him work the other day. Now, in fairness to everybody involved, I only saw him for 8 minutes of his entire life on planet Earth. So is there something, did he tie up a little bit? Is there something in his blood a little bit? We'll have to look at that, and again, make changes along the way. We are going to make some shoeing changes with him. I am going to go with him again, I guess Tuesday if his blood work comes back okay. I think from here on in, just a lot of work for this guy. Work, 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 work. What I saw the other day was a horse that was a little weak. And from what I gather from Mark Beckwith and then my brother Mark before that, the work has been put into this horse, right? So why did he feel weak the other day? A number of reasons. He could have. He also has real shelly feet behind, and we had just had him shod. Is that a reason? Are his front feet bothering him a little bit? Did he tie up a little bit? Is he sick a little bit? I can't answer any of these questions just yet. I will probably be able to answer a few of them come Tuesday, but for right now, sorry, I'm not there Tuesday. I'm there Wednesday. No, that's also a lie. Wednesday afternoon in Philadelphia. Wednesday night at Northfield Park. Went Thursday morning before I go to the Meadows. I will have a very good idea at that point. That should give us more than enough time to get in front of, look at, and then get in front of his blood work. Look at how his shoeing is, how are his feet all around, and then by Thursday I should be able to get a strong workout into him again and have a better idea of where HL Blue stands in real time right now. How the hell? I'm really frustrated because my schedule may not allow for me to get to How the Hell. Friday might be Cranatini again. I was assuming he might win that class, in which case if he was out of that class, he didn't need to race next Friday. But he is not out of that class, so he may have to. We did put some cortisone in his knee the other day, which precludes us being able to bring him to Pennsylvania. It is a 30-day withdrawal time in Ohio for Depomedrol, 21 days in Pennsylvania. You see that you're seeing some of the back-end issues with horse racing is all these different withdrawal times. He's okay to race next week in Ontario, but can't race for another 2 weeks in Pennsylvania and 3 weeks in Ohio. So even if I wanted to say, okay, I can't get to him, bring him to me, we're going to race him in that 3 but not 6 class at the Meadows, we can't. because of the medication we put in his knee. So we're going to continue to work for it. I know, listen, I know it's frustrating for my partners on how the hell, but I want to believe at some point we can get him on a roll and we can look back at this time and say, okay, that was a frustrating portion of his career, you know, but it did lead to where we are now, and where that place is where I want to get him as quickly as possible. I forbid you. Better Trip, I think she's a winner next week, first or second in that class. She just not first over. You can't be first over with this filly. Not in there, not right now. And I think now Mike knows that. He can drive her a little tidier next time. JK Mickey Mantle racing Monday. I'm going to be watching very closely. JK Mickey Mantle is racing Monday at Northfield Park. One of our clients said, I don't think he'll get around Northfield. Oh, really? Well, he's already trained there in 54, off a half in a minute almost, last year when we bought him. He didn't go right to Tim's. He went to Northfield Park. We trained him up tight, and the horse was perfect at Northfield. Then we sent him to the Meadows, and then he ended up going back home. So he most definitely can get over at Northfield Park. Just a matter of getting this guy going right now. JK Victory was good again last week, 3rd and 49. I was happy with him. Looks Like Money was 4th in a mile and 51-1 on a night where it rained a little bit. Now, they did go in 47 after that, so it's not like the track was bad. Scotty felt that he just stayed to the inside. He's an easy 3rd. Instead, he kind of took the bait, so to speak, that the racing gods had given him. But it's just one of those things where you have to, right? It's much like I just said to Oliver in his last at-bat. The kid made a good pitch, whether it was by luck or not. It was a little bit high for where he couldn't get to it, but he couldn't trust that the umpire wouldn't call it a strike. So he went down swinging, protecting the plate, which he's supposed to. He was upset about it, and I said, that pitch, there's nothing you could do. When that cover opened up where you could get out and get going with Looks Like Money, staying in wasn't really the best option, right? If you're like 30-1, but a legit 30-1. Now, he was longer odds, but only because Jiggy Jog was like 1-5. He was really, what, an 8-1, 10-1 type horse. He was following Dave Miller. The horse first over was going to tow him right up into it. He thought it would work out great, and he said as he was exiting the hole, he knew it was a mistake. He thought it was a mistake maybe when he left, but when you get a chance to get to the outside and attack and get in an attacking position, you should. And it's just one of those things. It was just a bang-bang play that really probably cost us 3rd, I guess, but at the time, I don't think anybody can argue with why he did it. Renegade Gypsy, racing good. He's in to go at Mohawk, I think, on Tuesday. Like to get him moving forward, but inch by inch, he looks a little bit better. Happy with the way he looks. Resolute Bay going to Georgian. He's going to fit the class. I think the Tiger's in on Tuesday, I believe. So that's a good step forward for him. I'm going to jump over 3 Point Blue Chip. Every week I just say the same thing. When I give you an update on 3, I guess it's not fair. We still have him. I should. I don't have many updates for you right now. He is working in a jogging manner. Unbeatable Kemp isn't. He was great the other day. Anytime he kind of gets that trip, that's his trip. Leave, stalk, follow, and then pounce on horses that are maybe a little vulnerable. He'll always race good off that trip. Very, very happy with what I saw from Unbeatable Kemp this week. Yo Mister raced awesome to finish 3rd in the Open. That's a tall order for a 4-year-old trotter. By the way, follow the best horses in Ohio, and in case you think that it's a watered-down group, just look at the results of the Meadowlands last night for the Ohio horses. The filly that Swinging Senorita has to race against all the time. Rose Run Yolanda just beaten 51. Virgil Morgan's mare beating Bon last night. It's just an extremely tough crew. And Charlie May, another open pacer from Ohio. Won in 47, I think, last night, or 48, whatever it was. But again, these are the horses racing in Ohio. Not even winning in Ohio all the time. Refine got beat, I think, her last start in the Open, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe she didn't, I don't know. But a tough crew of horses, and Yo Mister racing against them as a 4-year-old. A huge feather in his cap. Just a really, really nice horse for us. Good as Him is still swimming and on the walker. As soon as we get the green light, we can start jogging. But he's got work in the walker and a lot in the pool under his belt. So he's well on his way as far as fitness-wise is concerned to getting back to the races. Locatelli, little field time for him. We're going to give him 3 weeks off probably and bring him back in. Just sharpen him back up. Harry said I think maybe the allergies were chewing away at him. Everything was just low in his blood, his red count, his hemoglobin. Everything was just a little bit lower than we'd like to see it. So we just decided just give him 3 weeks off and freshen him up. Where are we at here? No free lunch, scratch last night. The race didn't help him. The Open, he was going to get clobbered, which was concerning. And now not racing is going to hurt him. And I don't know which was worse, getting beat up or not racing at all. But either way, we don't have an option. He's scratched for last night. We'll train him up and come back again this week. B. Lisa is in to go this week, I believe on Wednesday it must be. So I'm excited about that. Try and redeem myself for the piss poor drive I gave her the other day. Oakwood Cowboy, I'm going to drive him also for the first time. I like the way that Dominic has this horse right now. I like what he's doing. His overall work has been very, very good. Really impressed with him. And I think we're starting to see the horse that we bought come back around. Stay Close. It's much like How the Hell, in a totally different situation. Just kind of in a funk, right? His feet cost him a break late in the mile his last start. Just want to see more work from Stay Close, more consistent work from Stay Close. Kings County, he was great again. Jesus, he's been such a good horse for us. And a winner the other day. Wasn't his best work overall because he almost got nipped in the backup class, but just a winner. Just always doing good things. White Tiger raced good. Hopefully this race at Georgian can bounce him into a place where he's a little more consistent, right? It wasn't an awesome race his last race. He almost got beat by a horse that's not supposed to beat him, but that's racing. There's no gimmies anywhere. You can say, oh, that horse shouldn't beat him. That horse and those horses can beat anybody any given day. That's the great thing about baseball, the great thing about racing. The similarities are there when you're talking about young talent and about, if you falter in any way, anybody can lose and anybody can win at any given time. And that's why we love that sport. And that's why I love this sport also. It's very, very similar. Delicious Stone DK qualified with the hobbles on. Mark said, I just went around. Just got a flat line on him. I thought the horse was good. So we'll see how he races this week. Patrick the Piranha, all systems go. I think he was just sick, to be honest. And there was no confirmation from any vet whether he did have a little AFib in the race. From my point of view and from yours, it looked like he may have. But now there's no issue. There was no issue with his heart noted after the race. But the way that Mark said he was coming into the race a little flat, we'd seen that. But I think the heat, the humidity, the little dehydration, I think all played a negative role in him. So he's coming back. And I know Mark was upset today. He called me and he said, no, greatest ending's lame and might have tied up. And, the Denmark horse or whatever, that horse coming off 2 breaks. Patrick the Piranha's flat. He said, and he's all worried. I said, Mark, let me put it into perspective for you. Just a little bit. I'm not putting any pressure on you. Greatest ending, we knew that he had foot issues and we knew he tied up when we bought him. So is it shocking that his feet are sore and he tied up? No, just relax. Work on both, get them down, and then we'll try and formulate a plan. So hopefully it doesn't happen again, even though we know it likely will at some point. The Denmark horse made a break. Okay. The Trouter made a break. Don't call the New York Times. It's not a shocker. All right, he's made a break, so he got the hobbles on him now. Let's get him going. That's 2. As far as Patrick the Piranha is concerned, Persols is nothing. Nothing. He's going through a funk right now. Here's an idea. Let him get over it. That's the way it is. I mean, there's no pressure. I know there's a lot of money between those 3 horses on the table, but it's not like it's going anywhere. We're not in any rush. We bought the horses so that we can have good horses race all the time. But good horses or bad horses can't be good all the time. There's going to be ups and downs. We always hope there's more ups and downs. That's the plan. But, when you're in a funk like this, it's just the way it is. Not the end of the world. They'll bounce back. Per Lucky. Oh, I don't have an update from you. I know he's in Minnesota. I don't know when he's going to be in to go, but 4% or more rule is in effect for Minnesota. I got my NRC. I got it, so I'm going to get a Minnesota license this week. If you're one of my partners and you own more than 4% of Per Lucky, guess what? You'll also have to get a Minnesota racing license. So if you are in that bracket and you do not yet, please do. I would appreciate it. So, where are we at now? Dipper's out in the field, and Sintra I'm going to race on Tuesday. I'm going to take a different approach with Sintra. I'm going to be a little conservative with Sintra on Tuesday. See if we can't get our big boy back firing on at least most of, if not all of, his cylinders. So with that, all your videos are done. I get 18 minutes to Ollie's last ball game. As soon as this ball game is over, I got a jet. I'm going to get to Ohio around 5:30-ish, 5 o'clock-ish. Gonna race Swinging Senorita, gonna race our girl. I'm fancy-like, excited about tonight, excited about today. It's an exciting time. So congratulations, everybody, especially Mel Gibson. What a nice feeling that was, because there was so much uncertainty swirling around him. Didn't really know, are these horses any good? Are they not any good? They haven't really been in a hard racing situation. I was happy to hear Adam Rucker talk positively even about Mounds for All, even though I thought he raced very ordinarily last night. Is this a horse that we're going to keep there and race him? And he was pretty optimistic. These are people that don't need the horses there, so it's not like it's a big deal to them. I was happy to hear some positive remarks from Trace in regards to the horse. So getting our horses in Indiana going, getting our horses started back up for Kentucky next week. Pennsylvania looks great on the trotting side so far. Going to get to see Arson. I'm not going to drive him. Scott Zeron, I think, is going to drive him on the 22nd next week, so that'll be exciting also. Just so much going on right now. Trying to get our Ontario guys up and going. I know Bruno was 8th or 9th, but the mile on paper wasn't bad, and then looking at the scope he did of some mucus, enough that the veterinarian put him on antibiotics. So happy with what I've seen. I guess Ontario, I'd like to see a little more. You know, when I talk about Winter Bells or Great Bet, those two seem to be the top for us in their division, really just kind of floundering. Both were 3rd and 4th the other day, but it's tough. It's so tough in the middle of the order in Ontario. It's tough to have a really good horse. It's really tough to have a good horse. It's really easy to have a bad one, and we're trying to avoid the third door. But at the same token, I would like to see our horses pick it up a little bit in Ontario. But as I said, there was a little slower to the start. We'll see if we can get them going in the very near future. But for right now, I'm happy across the board with everybody. I'll talk to you all very soon. I hope you're having a great summer. Take care.